Hi everyone, hi bichitos, welcome to my channel if you're new. I'm making this video because when I was looking for information about the 12-week course, which is the one that I did back in April this year, 2022, I didn't find a lot of vlogs. I mean, there were a lot of written vlogs, but no videos, and I was really intrigued. I don't know, I just hope that this video helps. If I were you, I would definitely try to talk to more people that have done this course, because the more information from more people, the better. And you know, every experience is different. Mine was very different from other people, so let's get started. A lot of people are intrigued about how I got to know this course in Ireland. Me being from Argentina, you know, it's very far away from here. So the thing is, my grandmother somehow knew the place and she stayed at the hotel, because there's the school, the cookery school, and then there's the hotel, which is like a 10-minute drive from the school. She stayed at the hotel and somehow she knew that there was a cooking course. And back in 2020, I think, I really wanted to go somewhere that was not in Argentina to study cuisine. And I first thought about the cordon bleu, I don't know how to pronounce that, in France, but something told me that that was not for me. And I told my grandmother and she told me, you have to go to this place. It's amazing. It's in the middle of nowhere in a farm with cows and it's organic and you meet people from all over the world. And she literally bought me with all of that. It clicked for me. Back in 2020, I wanted to do this course in 2021. And when I signed up for it, there was a waiting list. So I couldn't do it in 2021 because I wanted to do it in summer, spring, in April, because a lot of people had said that in winter it's not as good and the days are shorter. So I signed up for the course in April in 2022. So I had to wait a lot of time. So if I were you, I wouldn't be so chill about signing up because there's always a waiting list. So the thing about the payment, you pay for the course and then you pay for the accommodation separately, and you also have to pay separately the set of knives that they offer you, which comes with, I have everything written down here because I don't want to forget anything. It comes with all the knives, big knives to tiny knives, peelers, a really good grater, a scraper, and a piping bag, and some other things that I can't remember right now. But they tell you that if you have a set of knives, you can take yours, so you can save money. I didn't have a set of knives, so I said yes. It's quite expensive. Everything about this course is expensive because it's a 10 out of 10 course. I really want to say this from the beginning. It's amazing. It's honestly, I would do it again, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. And there's very little few things that I didn't like, but they weren't even like horrible things. So back to the set of knives, I would totally recommend to buy the one that they offer because it's really complete and they're really good quality knives. And then they also tell you that they're gonna give you an apron and a hat, which you will have to wear every day to class when you cook. Then, where is Ballymaloe? The school is literally in the middle of nowhere, like 45 minutes away from Cork, which is a city. Yeah, it's pretty far away in the middle of nowhere. It's like on the outskirts of the city, and it has its pros and cons. You know, it's really nice to be disconnected and in the middle of nowhere and be surrounded by cows and a lot of green, and you know, it's magical. But at the same time, it's kind of uncomfortable if you don't have a car, because the supermarkets are like a 20-30 minute drive from the school, and if you don't have a car, you have to depend on people that do have a car and ask them for a ride. And you know, everyone has different schedules. It's not as bad because there's usually a lot of people who have a car and you end up being friends with everyone, and everyone always offers like, hey, today after demo I'll be going to da da da, do you want to come? So don't worry about that. And if you can't get to the market and you need anything and you're in a rush to, like, I don't know, you need something, there's a gas station which is a 10-minute walk from the school, so it's very near. You can find like the basic things there. So the nearest things that you have to the school is the hotel, the gas station. There's a really beautiful beach, which is like a 25-minute walk from the school. And if not, you can take the car to other beaches, which are beautiful. And they're not more than 30 minutes away or 40. I would really recommend going to the beaches on the weekends if you can and just go for a swim, even if it's cold. It's totally worth it. There were some people who did it before class, so at around 5, 6, 7 a.m. in the morning. I never did that because I didn't have the guts to do that. It was too early, it was too cold. I did it like 3 or 4 times after school and that was enough for me. Oh, if you're gonna go to Cork, there's really good food. And if you haven't ever been to Ireland, which was my case, I really loved going to Cork and not just staying at the school. Because the course is really intense, it can be very normal that when the weekend comes, you really don't want to do anything. You just want to stay in your bed, watch movies, and do nothing basically and rest. But I would say to not do that and just say yes to every activity that comes up, because those are the experiences that you will remember. There were a lot of people who didn't know if they should rent a car or come with their car, and you know, I didn't have a car, and I would say if you're a really independent person, if you want to go to visit other places or you have family that you want to visit and you want to do your own thing, then definitely go rent a car. But I don't think it was necessary. Like, there were a lot of people that had a car and usually gave you a lift. People there were very friendly and everyone is in the same situation, so everyone is very empathetic and everyone wants to do everything with everyone. I mean, I was okay without having a car. So this next thing is really important, the accommodation. I am 23 years old. What they do is they divide you in cottages depending on your age. So they usually put like the people that are between 18 and 25 in a cottage, people that are 25, 26 in the same cottage, and like that. They won't mix people who are 18 with people who are 40, which doesn't really keep you from becoming friends with all the rest of the people, so don't worry about that. You know, this is, I think, the only bad thing about the course. If you don't compare cottages, it's fine. But I was put in the cottage that is called the barn. The barn was a cottage where they put the youngest people. So I was with people who were from 18 to 25. It was an amazing group of people, but the only thing was when we got there and we saw all the other cottages, we realized that the barn was the oldest cottage on the course. If we hadn't compared it to the other houses, you know, it was fine. It's not shit. It's not a shit house. It isn't. It's beautiful and it's old and kind of vintage and it has that farmhouse style. So the thing that was unfair was the size of the rooms. I had a really big room, but I was lucky. I didn't know I was gonna get the best room at the barn. I only got that room, which was the best, because I had previously asked to not share a bathroom. I wanted to have my own toilet because I was gonna stay there for 3 months and I knew that I was gonna share a house with boys and girls and I didn't want to share. So it seemed that the only room in the house who had a private bathroom was the one that was downstairs, and it had 2 beds, it had a private bathroom, but it didn't have a shower, it had a bath, and it had a big closet which came in really handy because I had taken a lot of clothes. I shouldn't have taken so many clothes, like, honestly. And also you're gonna gain a lot of weight, so I would recommend to take a lot of big clothes, but that's something that I'm going to talk about later. And everyone else who was upstairs had a really tiny room and they all had to share bathrooms. There were like 3 bathrooms upstairs, which were okay, but it wasn't fair compared to the other houses. The other houses' rooms had king-size beds. Most of them had, like, they had a bathroom in their own room. They were bigger, they were nicer, they were more modern. I would say that's the only thing that I didn't quite like about the course. I was okay, but like my friends were suffering. They literally didn't have space to put their things, and they did ask for a refund and they gave it to them. The school gave them the refund. So yeah, I would definitely ask the school what cottage they're gonna put you in. But also I want to say it's not the end of the world. I mean, I didn't stay at those tiny rooms, but they weren't shitty, they weren't dirty or anything. Everything worked fine and it was beautiful. But if you compared it to the other houses, it wasn't fair, to be honest. So the school is really beautiful and it has all these cottages where the students stay, which surround like a courtyard where the students had dinner or breakfast or lunch or whatever. We usually all cook together. What's also really comfortable is that the cottages are literally 1 step away from the school where you cook. Then the school only includes lunch, so everything you cook in the morning you then have for lunch. You try everything everyone else cooked, you try what you cooked, which is amazing. But what they don't include and you have to take care of is breakfast and dinner. So yeah, you're gonna be spending money on that, but it's fun. You know, it's fun because you usually cook with all the other students that you're staying with. And I don't know, I remember that we bought pizzas and watched Love Island, and it was really fun. Like, honestly, one of the most beautiful memories is cooking with my friends and cooking fresh pasta and yeah, just enjoying that time together. You may be wondering if there are washing machines and drying machines, and the answer is yes. There are, I think, 2 washing machines and 2 drying machines. But the thing about that is that there's a schedule for that. So for example, the barn, everyone who lived at the barn could only do their laundry on Mondays, I think it was. I mean, it's not that you couldn't do laundry any other day, but you know, the other houses had priority and you had to ask them. But throughout the course, the people that were staying at the barn, me and the other people, realized that the barn was the cottage with most people living in it, and somehow we got the school to put a drying and a washing machine in our cottage. It was really useful because we were like, I don't know, 60 students doing the course, and not all of the students stayed at the school, so not all of the 60 students had to use those washing machines. Also, you don't have to worry about washing your bed sheets. The school does it for you. The only thing that you have to do is take them out of your bed, give it to them, and they'll give you new clean ones, and that's the only thing you have to worry about. Now on to the most important thing, which is what I was really intrigued about before doing the course, because I didn't know if this was like a really intense course, if it was like a very practical course, how much free time was I gonna have, if I had to study a lot, and I had all these questions, so I'm gonna answer them for you. So the routine goes like this. You cook every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday in the morning. You usually have to be in the kitchens between 6 and 9, depending on how many recipes you're gonna have to make and depending on how many more things you add to your list. And you can't start cooking before 9. You have to be there before 9 because you have to weigh all your ingredients and grab all your ingredients and take them to your stand, like your space in the kitchen. And then at 9 the teachers arrive, and that's when you're allowed to start cooking. You usually have to make between 3 and 4 recipes, but this is how it works. You are partnered with someone different each week. You're partnered with a student from the course, which is really fun but can also be very chaotic because sometimes you don't have that chemistry with someone and you don't get to choose your partner. The school does that for you. What can sometimes be hard about being partnered with someone is that they tell you which recipes you have to make, right? And they give you like between 6 and 8 recipes. And you have to choose with your partner, you know, who's gonna make what. And sometimes the other person is like, I want to do this, and this, and I'm gonna do this, and this. And you're like, but I want to do that. And, you know, so don't be afraid to stand your ground, ask for what you want to do. You know, if they want to do the same thing as you, talk with a teacher or just do it. But just, I would recommend to talk with your partner and just express what you want to make, what you feel like doing, if you feel comfortable doing this, if you want to try doing that because you have never done it before. You know, you're paying a lot of money for this course, so make really good use of it and don't be intimidated by other people. So as I said, you cook in the morning from 9 to 12 or 1 p.m. depending on how much time it takes you to cook what you have to cook. And then you have lunch with all the students and you taste everything, which is amazing. Also, what you always have to do when you finish cooking is that you have to plate everything that you have made as if you were gonna serve it in a restaurant. So it's stressing, but it's good practice to be very creative and clean with your dishes. And sometimes it gets hard because you don't know how to plate. And I felt like they didn't teach us a lot about how we should plate things. They eventually did, but they didn't do it at the beginning, which I would have liked because I was really insecure and I didn't know how to do it. So again, don't be afraid to ask the teachers, hey, how should I plate this? Is it better to put the protein under, I don't know, Ask everything. Don't be afraid that they will answer happily. And be patient with the teachers. Be respectful because they are also tired. We are many students. It's hectic in the kitchens. And something that I didn't do at the beginning that I wish I would have done is doing the famous order of work. At the end of every week on Fridays, they give you a set of recipes that you will be making next week. So keep them safe, and also if you know you have to cook certain recipes on Monday, then on Saturday or Sunday, write everything you're gonna make the next day. I would highly recommend to write down book oven and highlight it. because there are enough ovens, but everyone needs an oven, and sometimes people have to make 3 recipes that need the use of an oven, and then you have to wait for others to finish. So when you get there in the morning, just grab some tape, you write your name and you stick it on the oven, and that means it's yours, and preheat it. So do the order of work and don't be lazy. Honestly, it's like the best thing you can do to be organized and be as efficient as you can be in the kitchen. It's gonna save you a lot of time. On Wednesdays, you don't cook. You have a full day of demos. What are demos? Demos are classes where you sit in a room. But yeah, you have demo and usually wine class after lunch. All afternoon you have wine class, which I think is optional. In the beginning, they don't make it seem like it's optional, but it is. And you also decide if you want to take the exam or not. I didn't take the wine exam because I don't love wine, and I didn't think it was going to be useful for me in my life. But a lot of people loved it, and you get to taste many wines during that class. So if you love wine, you can take that class. And then on the days that you do cook, you cook in the morning, but after lunch you have demo. And they cook from 10 to 15 recipes, and they're amazing. They're intense because you come from cooking, but pay attention because a lot of the things that they mention during demos, they're gonna ask in the final exam. But also the good thing about demos is that when they finish, you get to taste a bite of everything. The demos are usually from 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. depending on the amount of recipes they make. When the demos finish, you usually have the rest of the day off. People usually go to the beach, go for a swim. People usually cook their dinner. We sit at the courtyard, we chat, we do the order of work. Yeah, it's very chill during the afternoons after class because everyone is really tired. People also usually went to the pub, which there's one 10 minutes away from the school, walking. And it's nice, it's a very Irish chill pub. But not all of the afternoons are free because there are some extracurricular activities which are mandatory, such as butchery, cheese making, charcuterie, and fermentation, but I don't think fermentation was mandatory, which are really fun but also very intense because you've woken up at 6 in the morning and finished at 6 p.m. and the only thing you want to do is take a shower and go to bed, but you still have to go to a butchery class from 6 to 8:30 p.m. maybe. It depends on which class. Some are shorter, some are longer. You're gonna be tired, you're not gonna want to pay attention, but pay attention because everything is important. They're gonna test you on everything at the end of the course. And of course, if you don't care about the exams and you just care about the experience and you don't want to be a professional chef, then don't go to those classes, but they're important and they're useful. Something that is also mandatory are the duties. The duties are salad duty, herbs duty, after demo duties like serving, cleaning, drying dishes, cleaning the floors, and also feeding the hens. You're probably gonna complain about these duties because you're so tired and the days are so long, but you have to do them. But some of them are really useful for knowledge. For example, herb duty and salad duty, you get to study all the different herbs and salad leaves, which they're gonna test you on. Then you're probably also wondering if you're gonna gain weight. How much do you eat? Well, you eat a lot. I have never eaten so much food in my life. It was crazy. I was sad because at week 4, my pants didn't fit anymore and I was stressed out because I didn't have any other clothes, and I was very lucky to go to Dublin, I think on that weekend, and so I bought myself new clothes and new pants and new bras and everything. Because you really do get fat. You know, you don't gain a little weight. You gain a lot of weight. You know, it's been, I think, 6 months or 8 since I've done the course, and I haven't gotten back to my weight before the course. And I'm not interested in going back to that weight. I'm okay. Just know that you are gonna gain a lot of weight because you eat during the classes. You know, you taste food at the end of the demo. When you're in cooking class, you have to taste everything that you're making. Sometimes one of your friend comes over and they're like, hey, can you taste this? And you have to taste it. So you're constantly eating, and there's always bread everywhere. Somehow there's bread all over the place and you can't escape it, and you won't be able to escape it because it's the most delicious thing in the world. So I would say to not worry about it and just eat all you want and enjoy. Also, since we're talking about food, don't be scared to try everything there. Don't restrain yourself, because there are some things that are weird or that you probably haven't ever tried. Ever since I came back from that course, I've enjoyed food so much more, and it's so fun to cook and create things if you know more about more ingredients. So take advantage of this course because they are so broad with all the food options. So even if you know that there's a cake that has an ingredient that you don't like, still try it, because maybe you've never tasted that ingredient with the other combination of ingredients. And honestly, like 80% or more like 90% of the food at the course was amazing. Another thing that I want to mention is that on the first week, but you can also do this during the next couple of weeks, is that they give you the opportunity to sign up for experience in the kitchens of the Ballymaloe hotel restaurant, which I didn't do because I am not interested in working in kitchens. And the other things that they offered, helping at the bread shed, help to make pizzas on Saturdays, which the students that did that loved it. You can also sign up for milking the cows, and I can't remember what else. Don't worry if you're put on the waiting list, because all these activities, they run through all the 12 weeks. And there's usually someone who can't make it that day, and so they tell you and you go in their place. Okay, so once you get to week 6, you have exams. Make the most of every opportunity the school gives you. You know, ask as many questions as you need. Don't be afraid to ask stupid questions. If you need to talk to a teacher after class, you know, go look for them. Again, you're paying a lot of money, so make good use of your money, because then when you're in week 6 and you're like, oh, I didn't study this, oh, I should have asked this to my teacher, and they're hard. But don't stress, study, and it's gonna be fine. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that every week you have a different partner, but you also have a different teacher assigned to your group of people, and you're also going to be in a different kitchen each week. There are 4 kitchens, I think, and they're all amazing. I am gonna mention these teachers because they were very special to me and to my experience during the course. All of the teachers are a 10 out of 10. They are professionals, they know a lot, and they really want you to learn, so don't get on their nerves and be kind to them. I'm really thankful because honestly, like, we had the best teachers, and I'm really thankful that I got to learn from Debbie, Richard, Tiffin, Gary, Pat. They were so fun, and if you can become friends with Tiffin, that's like, he's the most humble and kind and fun teacher to work with and learn from. So if you get him as a teacher, you're a lucky person. What else? Be really wise and go to bed early. I know that you're gonna want to stay late talking to your new friends and maybe studying or whatever, or watching TikTok, but go to bed early. You're gonna thank yourself the next day. Believe me, every minute of sleep that you can get is sacred. Now, a lot of people have asked me, what do you cook? Is it all Irish cuisine? Well, it's not. Part of it is you learn a lot about Irish cuisine, but you also have like Mexican, Vietnamese, Chinese, Spanish, I think, and many more. Don't worry, they're gonna give you all the recipes which you can take home, but they're also going to be uploaded to a website which will be available for the rest of your life. And what makes it a really 10 out of 10 experience is that most of the ingredients that you use for cooking are produced there at the farm. So if you need milk, you're using the milk that they milked from the cows that morning. You use the corn that they produced there. All the herbs are grown there. It's honestly amazing, and the flavors are elevated because they're natural, they're organic. Like everything that we cooked there, the flavors were on another level because of the quality of the ingredients. They make sure that the ingredients are the best of the best. Now, maybe you're also wondering, is this course difficult? What if I don't have any previous cooking experience? You can definitely do this course if you don't know anything about cooking. They're going to teach you all the types of cuts, the names of the cuts, the names of the meats, the names of the herbs, when to use them. They make you start cooking basic recipes and then they get harder. But don't worry, because you're always assigned a teacher and you can ask everything. You know, at the beginning of the course, we usually started off cooking soups, tarts, quiches, easy cakes, a lot of bread, which is really fun. Really practice your bread, because you're gonna have to cook bread in your final exam. Practice the white yeast bread, which is the most difficult one. It's not a difficult course as long as you pay attention, you practice, you ask, and you're gonna get better every week. Don't get stressed out if a recipe doesn't turn out well. It's a course, you're learning how to cook. You're there to become a better cook. And now we're getting to the end. So everyone gets stressed out about the final exams, which you're gonna be stressed out because you have to make a salad, which is mandatory. I mean, you can decide not to make it, but they want a salad. And it can be as basic as you want it. You have to make a bread, a main course, a dessert, and I think that's it. And they give you, I think, from 2 to 3 hours. So yeah, you're gonna have to cook many things, and it's also gonna have to be cohesive with the theme that you choose, because you have to choose a theme. Practice your exam. You're gonna have time to practice. I would say not to overcomplicate it. You know, if you know that you're really good at making something that looks simple but it's exquisite, then what I'm saying is not to play it safe, but not to overcomplicate it, because you don't have a lot of time and time runs in the kitchen. I, for example, had to make the brown soda bread. I did a simple salad. I did granola, eggs Benedict, and cinnamon scones, and the theme was brunch. I think it was brunch. You do have to make recipes from the school. You can't make something up. You're also gonna have to sit for written exams, which are long. They're 2 separate exams where they're gonna ask you all the things they mentioned during demo, the different cuts of meat, all the results, and the diploma, the title of the course. They ship it to you 3 months after the course, so once you're back home. They don't tell you if you've passed and what are your marks there. There was this person who asked me, have you become a better cook since the course? How much do you cook now? Do you think you've improved? And I would say that I am a way better cook than before. I can go to a supermarket and, you know, recognize most of the ingredients. I know what goes with what. I also feel way more confident, and I'm way more adventurous with seasonings. I'm not afraid of trying new things, and it's really fun. It's made me enjoy cooking a lot more. It was definitely worth it. I would do it all over again. It opened my eyes, it opened my mind. I've definitely grown, not only in cooking, but as a person, because it's so fun meeting people from all over the world. And you know, there were 13 different nationalities at the course. I was the only Latina person. Most of the people were from the United States, Canada, England, a lot of people from Ireland, and then there were some people from Switzerland, I think, Asia, but no one knew Spanish. There was just like this one guy who knew Spanish. So in conclusion, I would 100% recommend it. I loved this course. The school grounds are amazing. The people are amazing. The teachers are amazing. You get to eat the most delicious food ever. You enrich yourself with other cultures. So if you have the opportunity to do it, then do it. I hope I was helpful, and if you have any other questions, you can write them down on the comment section or DM me. And yeah, I guess that's it. Woo! Bye.